Hello, hello, hello. Hey there, my name is Svava Brooks. I'm abuse survivor coach. And if you're here watching the replay, thank you so much for stopping by. I enjoy being here on Periscope and YouTube live twice a week, hanging out with fellow survivor thrivers as we work our way through my book, Releasing Your Authentic Self, one day, one page at a time. But if you're here live, please say hello. Please let me know where you're from. How can we celebrate you? And if you'd like to participate, I'm going to be sharing a little bit after we welcome all our friends here, and then a couple of questions from the page of the day. And feel free to participate, share your thoughts, ideas, and if you have comments or questions about healing after trauma, please go ahead, shoot us a note. Happy to answer the questions if I can. If not, I may defer to our panel of expertise right here, right, friends? So good to be with you today. Happy Halloween, by the way, for those who celebrate Halloween. I have no costumes on today other than my new reading glasses that I'm getting used to. I look at myself and I actually see my sister. It's funny. I'm a twin, so I feel like I look at she wears these kind of glasses a lot more. So I'm getting used to it. I'm seeing myself, not my twin sister. So how are you guys today? What's new and good? What's new and good? I'm happy to report I went to the doctor's today. I'm doing great. Blood tests, all those things came back. This body of mine, taking good care of it, is paying off. So I'm happy to report that back to you guys. I think Rob was busy today working with his friend. Right, Rob? Weren't you working on the pond with your friend? Hey, friends. How are you doing today, Wanda? I've really also been enjoying just scrolling through social media, seeing all those funny Halloween costumes, right? The pond is looking good. Rob is building a pond with his friend in England. So you need those reader glasses too. I'm inspiring you. Yes, you know what? And these glasses are also with the tint for the light from a computer, because I am noticing that my eyesight is steadily kind of going down, even though I'm resisting believing that that's part of aging. But I also spend quite a bit of time in front of a screen. Speaking of, I have 3 screens in front of me right now. So it is good to protect our eyes. So that's also, so I got reading glasses that also with the protection for the computer, the light from the computer, all the screens that we're looking at. So yeah, if I can inspire anybody, and you can get all kinds on good old Amazon. So yes, right, Rob, right? Yes. The downside is when I take them off, you guys are all blurry. Not quite, but that's the next thing on my annual checkup, is to go have my eyesight tested again. So physical checkup, good. And actually I told you guys I hurt my foot last week, stubbed my toe. I'm still limping a little bit. I can only fit into my boots, my rain boots, and my sneakers, because any shoe with a cramped toe, it hurts a little bit. I hear you, Rob, but you know what? I have enlarged the screen, the font on my screen is to the biggest possible, I think. So I had to surrender. But my doctor convinced me today to have my foot x-rayed. So I did that, and I'm waiting back to hear. I don't think anything is broken, but Wanda, my fellow my fellow partner here in stumping our toes or hurting our feet, you know how painful that can be. I just think it's going to take a while for me to get back to being up and running. You too, Rob. You too. Well, I was making fun of myself and said, well, it's definitely a sign to slow down. Slow down if I'm kicking the corners of tables or my bed or whatever. So, so good to see you, Sue. And I got my big jar of water. I'm hoping I'm inspiring you guys all. I try to drink at least 3 of these a day. So bottoms up, my friends. Yeah, my toe is still sore. I taped it to the 2 next to it. That's all they do. That's right. That's what I did. I had taped my toe. Actually, it was recommended by someone we all know that I tape my toes. So we hang out with the doctor, and so she recommended that as well. And I used to play handball in Iceland, and I'm not going to give you guys the finger, but I ended up having to tape these 2 fingers because playing handball, I would often get the ball right here on the tip of my finger. And so one of my ring finger is very, has been, I don't want to say broken, but kind of disfigured a lot. So I used to just, all right, towards the end, I just would play with these fingers taped together. So those are my athletic years, long time ago. So yes, Sue. She says, I reckon, hold on, Stephen, great question. I reckon it's a good self-care to recognize that things slow down a bit as we get older. Yes, definitely. It is time to slow down. No, Rob, this is not moonshine. It could be for all you know, right? Could be for all you know. So, hey, Stephen here on Periscope asked a question. He said, I heard a new term today called the drama triangle. Do you know what that is? That's a very good question. I'm actually going to write this down. Drama triangle. Because yes, I have heard of it. I don't remember exactly the terms. Do you remember the 3 terms? Because there's a theory, right, that we often are acting out our drama, our trauma through some drama, and we can often go from being the victim to the perpetrator, meaning not necessarily, violating people, but feeling we're kind of in the, we're more likely to be victimizing other or taking power over someone else. The person who told me, always asking about the 3 terms, but didn't know what they were. Well, I don't have them in front of me right now, but if anybody wants to Google the drama triangle, I have heard those terms. So basically, we can take turns, that different position that we're in. So Rob says, hi, Stephen, over here on YouTube. So, but obviously I don't have that information fresh in my mind. But it's definitely something that I have heard of. Yes, thank you, Sue. She's right on it. Yes, Sue says it's the victim, persecutor, and rescuer. Yes, thank you. That's exactly it, Sue. Victim, persecutor. I knew it was not a perpetrator, something. Persecutor and rescuer. So if you guys think about it, right? Thank you for bringing this up, Stephen, right? Can we see ourselves in these different roles in our relationships? I know I grew up and way into my adulthood being the victim and coping through being the rescuer. then when we go into rescue mode, then often someone else has to be the victim, or we are the persecutor, right? Since I was traumatized at home, I was being bullied. I know I hurt other people growing up. I was very assertive. I could even call myself a bully in high school. Not proud of that. Something that I've had to forgive myself for, right? I was acting out the hurt, right? That was unresolved inside of me. Yes, you could possibly be doing all three at the same time, but chances are you're doing it with different people. Like you can take different roles even with other people. Like one day you're the victim and the next day you are, right, say the rescuer. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. Yes, I know, but I was also Little Miss Perfect, right? I was very good at hiding it, right? I looked very good on the outside, but definitely, right, did not feel good. That the only way and I could feel good about myself was to put other people down, right? Yes, Sue says here, can be a victim at home and persecutor at work, for example. Exactly. It's like we find different people to play these roles out with. And Rob says, I had faces of evil too. Well, Rob, I don't want to say call evil, right? I'm not evil. You're not evil. Nobody is born evil. But, right, hurt people, meaning we act out. And unfortunately, if we are not getting our needs met, our love and care, encouragement and support at home, chances are we are taking it out on someone somewhere. And if that's how we grow up, watching people, like they find their sense of power by taking it from someone else, by putting other people down. It's like, we almost can't help it. We act out what we see done at home. Yes, Elizabeth here says, yes, John, you're absolutely right. Hang in there, guys. I got Periscope here, YouTube here. I'm going to do my best to keep an eye out. Elizabeth says, switching between victim and rescuer was trauma bonding me with abusive people. Yeah, exactly. Because these become roles, almost like identity that we become familiar with. I guess me being a vigilante to bullies was my form of the drama triangle. Yes, absolutely, Wanda. No, just feels evil now. I'm conscious and aware of behaviors. Yes, I hear you, Rob. And our job is to forgive ourselves. Forgive yourself. Forgive that, little boy, that inner teenager. I've had to forgive my inner teenager for all the different ways that she acted out, right? She already thought she was bad. And that was the only way she kept affirming her own beliefs about herself. So John here, Periscope, says, I find that most of people's problems stem from childhood. Yes, my friend, they do. Most of our problems come from childhood unmet needs, not even just wounding, not abuse or trauma necessarily. Good thing we are learning, and our parenting paradigms are shifting, and that we're recognizing what children actually need, because most of our behaviors, acting out, is right, is that we didn't get our needs met. Like underneath, that's just the tip of the iceberg, the acting out. Underneath it is an unmet need. So, and that's really what we're doing here, my friends, right? Hanging out here together, going through my book, Releasing Your Authentic Self. I'm holding this for our new people, my friends. One day, one page at a time, we are taking a look at. So what were some of the things that I have been living out of as if that's the truth, thinking this is who I am, this is my behavior, these are my identities, these are my qualities. Hey, Nikita. And it's not the truth. So understanding a lot of our behaviors are coping strategies, our best effort to get our needs met. Exactly, Rob, right? Unmet need. And so part of the healing is once we can identify this unmet need today, and for many of us is to grow up again, become our own parent, reparenting ourselves because we're grown up now. But what is that need that wasn't met back then? How can I learn to get that need met today? And instead of handing that little girl or that little boy that lives inside of you to somebody else, you love me, you take care of me, you make me happy, you fill this need. We have to learn to do that for ourselves. And again, that's why I'm a big fan of inner child work. No, we act out because of unmet needs, right? We find some kind of strategy to get those needs met, whether they're, and usually they can become unhealthy, right? We found a strategy that worked and the strategy that worked was to keep us from the pain, to numb the pain. Like someone just mentioned here on Periscope, number one health problem in America today is addiction. Yes, exactly. And what is addiction, right? Disconnection, unmet need. When we don't feel worthy, loved, safe, supported. What's the story that we make up about ourselves as kids, adolescents? Yes, exactly. Acting out, yes, exactly. And so then I started smoking when I was 12 years old, started drinking when I was 16. Cigarettes, nicotine is a very powerful antidepressant. Drinking to numb my pain, because I had no models of how to express my hurt, feel my feelings. I had not a safe person to go to. So in the absence of any helpful support out here, we do what we can to disconnect and repress and avoid and distract. We want to connect, but we don't want it. We want it, but we're afraid of it because we didn't have it. Or the people that were supposed to really connect with us as children, many of them ended up hurting us. John says, I think the internet and social media has also become an addiction to many people. It definitely is a fine line. I mean, that is with anything. And here's the key, my friends. What's the intention? Am I scrolling through on the internet just, and hours are going by and I've checked out. Or am I intentional? I'm going on the internet, on social media to meet with people, to have a conversation, to read this article, or I have a community of people that I'm connecting with and engaging in. So the key is intention, because we can get addicted to anything. We can use anything as a path to numb, distract, and avoid feeling, being. I hear you. A lot of social media, they know how to hook people. And especially if we are not aware of our own bodies, we are not in touch with our own self-regulation, right? We don't notice that we are being pulled, like the energy that is driving you just to sit there, right? And just scroll and scroll and scroll. And then it's like, wait, 2 hours went by. I have found myself there too, but then it's like, oh, wait a minute, I checked out. No, I'm in the driver's seat. I'm back in here. So I'm going to, we're all human. We're all human. So Steve asked, is there a strategy to remove yourself from the drama triangle? Well, the first step is awareness, right? Become aware of where you're doing it and how are you doing it and who, right? And I would recommend some self-compassion as well. You see me run my hands down my shoulders here. This is a very kind self-compassion practice. You're being kind to your body, because often when we become aware of new things, I don't know about you, anybody else? Oof, sometimes when I become aware of something, this was more specifically in the past. I'm not as hard on myself today, even though, yep, I have my moments too. But often when we become aware, it's like, wait a minute, am I the only dumb one? Did everybody see this but me? Right? So I had to be really careful, really mindful of being gentle with myself once I understood why, right? Why am I doing this dance? What's the unmet need here? How can I pull myself out of this dysfunctional relationship or this back and forth, and what part of me needs to be healed? Exactly. For removing yourself from someone else's drama triangle, that's boundaries. Boundaries. Recognize you're doing it and invite the person to have a healthy conversation, a dialogue about that. And that's the hardest part sometimes, when we are, all of a sudden, when we change, sometimes the people around us, they don't like it because we have, been doing this dance with them and they've liked that. There's been maybe some dependency. So codependency. So great questions. Thank you, Stephen. Thank you, John. I think it was Stephen. I'm sorry. Yes, Stephen. Thanks, guys, for the hearts. I appreciate that. Definitely appreciate that. Yes. Hey, Sam. Yes, it is best to stay away from drama. Growing up with drama and trauma, now I am very protective of my space. I do my best to pull away from drama. So let's see here on the YouTube channel. I've got some comments. We see here. Good, Stephen. I'm so glad you're here. If you want to follow me on YouTube, if you search for the name of the book on YouTube, you can find my channel there, and then you could also engage with our live chat conversation. We are talking about gratitude today. So in a minute, I'm going to post a couple questions about gratitude, and the group has been sharing some things about gratitude. Gratitude is a powerful practice, fastest way to joy. Also forces us to be mindful in the present moment. So let's see. Elizabeth says here, Svava, I avoided drugs since I was told they were bad, but I became a love-seeking addict. I hear you, Elizabeth. I hear you, right? But now that you are aware of it, sweet lady, now that you become aware of it, the most important relationship we have, the most important person you learn to love is you. We're talking about healing after trauma, and today we are talking about gratitude. Right now, I'm just answering some questions, some really good questions that have come up. So thanks for being here. And, anything that we become addicted to is to understand why, right? What's the driver? What's the unmet need, right? If it's a pattern, it's a habit, mindfulness, meditation, journal, understand what's the cycle, what's that knee-jerk reaction that drives you forward, because you have to have it. Because the truth is, nothing out here will fill that empty hole inside of us. It's our job. It is our job. So, but I hear you, Elizabeth. You're not alone, my friend. Hey, Cat Bear, I'm so sorry. So sorry for your loss, my friend. That's hard. That is hard. Elizabeth goes on to say here, yes, Rob says, with outlet, less harmful, I guess each bring down their downside. Yes, yes. Believe you're doing the right thing, seeking validation, being obedient, but it can become really unhealthy dynamic without even realizing it. Yes, yes, I hear you. And that's also unfortunately, for survivors of abuse, neglect, trauma, especially from trauma, childhood trauma and complex trauma. I have recommended to a lot of people to attend CODA meetings, Codependence Anonymous, because the truth is, in order to survive our environments as children, we will do whatever. We will do whatever it takes to survive. And we will, turn ourselves inside out. We will do whatever we can to take care of people, to make them happy, whatever. And unfortunately, that then sets us up of this pattern of thinking that this is who we are. Okay, as long as I'm here taking care of other people, they're nice to me. As long as I'm here loving other people, they will love me back. But we do it at a cost, right? Because the minute we stop or can't, for whatever reason, very often those people then maybe turn on us, or we are resentful. So in our caretaking, or in our relationships, or even friendships, or being there for other people, we are desperately hurting that one day, if I just do it well enough, that then they'll love me back, or they'll start to see me, or they'll appreciate me, or they'll value me. Whew, right? Doesn't work that way. So, exactly. One day at a time, start to see those behavioral patterns and understand that they're there for a reason. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with any of us. We are all kind of predictable in how we are trying to get our needs met. We are driven forward by getting those needs met. And then the cycle to get those needs met in whatever way becomes like a compulsion almost. If we think that, okay, this is how I managed to get that need met, it's not even conscious, but we are driven forward. So, self-compassion, my friends. Yes, each psyche is different. We are all unique, and our kind of interpretation or manifestation can be a little different, but our bodies work the same way. We hurt the same way. So a lot of our acting out is similar. Like someone said here, right, John? It's like you mentioned, so many of our addiction issues come from unmet needs. We feel disconnected because we never bonded or connected with someone safe in childhood. And so we think there's something wrong with us. And if we don't bond with someone in childhood, we don't know how to even to connect with ourselves. And so then we can't connect to the other people. And then again, there's something wrong with me. There's something wrong with me. There's something wrong with me. That's the story that we end up reciting as children, because there is no one here to connect with. Most people around us growing up, at least in my world, there was nobody home. So learning to come back to my body, back to my heart. And it's not fun or pretty at times, my friends. I do know. I do know. I do know. And again, that's why it's helpful, super helpful to hang out in a community with others where we're having this conversation, because we need to be reminded as we are learning to be different. That's the good news. We are learning that we can rewire our bodies and our brain, our nervous system. We learn to be this way. We can learn to be different, but it has to be active, intentional. You're welcome, Elizabeth. You're welcome. I hear you, friend. I hear you. I hear you. Well, I'm 30 minutes in here, so I'm going to turn to our page today. The fast track to joy is through gratitude and counting your blessings. We all have many good things to be grateful for in our lives. We just need to slow down and notice. I say just, you guys know what I mean. So even in the room that you're sitting in right here, right now, even in this moment, there are things all around you to be grateful for. These are things worth acknowledging and not take for granted, because even the smallest count, even the smallest blessings count in showing us what happiness is with us, within us, in this moment. Not behind us, not far ahead of, in front of us, but now, right here, right now. There is happiness to be found right now. And that is how we practice joy. I had no idea that fulfillment and joy and passion is something that you practice. The same way we practice, you know, I'm really oversimplifying things, guys. I just want to put that out there because I don't want to, you know, anyone to feel like I'm glazing over here, you know, when we struggle with depression or anxiety or pain or grief or sadness. These are all important feelings that need to be expressed. But the thing is, sometimes we get just stuck in those feelings, and those feelings just literally take over. And that was me. I had no idea how to feel joy, how to feel love, until I was like, okay, I'm going to put this crazy notion out there. I'm going to learn how to feel love. I'm going to be a seeker of love, seeker of kindness, seeker of joy. Because I knew stress very well. I knew depression very well. I knew anxiety very well, right? These were the states that I lived in a lot, and they just came on. So again, that's where I was very grateful for gratitude, because I'm like, what do you mean you want me to count some things around me to be grateful for? But once I started doing it, that it no longer went from just a word on a page. Yeah, I'm grateful for whatever. It's like some days just I would pull something very random. But the more I did it, and the more I was intentional about why I was doing it, then more I started getting in touch with, so there's a feeling here, which brought me in the present moment. Being in the present moment pulled me out of being sad about the past. It pulled me out of being worried about tomorrow. So sitting right here, right now, looking around, what am I grateful for right here, right now? So I'm going to share with you what few of our members have shared. And if you want to share with us the 2 questions, look around your room that you're in right now. What are 5 things that you are grateful for? Hey, LD. Glad you're here. And when you look out the nearest window, what are the 5 things outside that you are grateful for? So I'd love to hear from you if you're here with us. And let's see, Elizabeth, you just posted today. I was so happy that I wanted to cry of joy, but then I felt ashamed for being so happy. I don't quite understand it. Anybody else relate? Elizabeth, you're not alone. You are not alone. In the beginning, once I started feeling those glimpses of joy and happiness, I was like, wait, am I in trouble? Am I in trouble? Right? Waiting for the other shoe to fall. Right? I'm going to get in trouble. Yes. Thank you, Wanda. You're not alone, Elizabeth. You're not alone. Exactly. Thank you, Rob. You got to believe you're worthy of happiness because we believe you are. Hoping for positive tests with blood work tomorrow. Yes, Sharon, we are with you. Sending you lots of love, my friend. Lots of love. So the minute we start to feel good, we start worrying about it. Then we are immediately out of the present moment. Feeling good is a present moment experience. And then we worry. And then that means we have left the present moment. We are in our mind. We're no longer in the body, feeling the joy of present moment. So come back to your breath, Elizabeth. Practice. Practice being present. Practice, oh, this, I'm actually having a joyful feeling. And I can still remember years ago when I first had that like moment, to me was like one of the few moments where I felt like elated with joy. I was just like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And I was scared to share it. So I drove home and I called my best friend who I also knew would be happy for me. And I called her and I shared with her how good I was feeling. And she was happy for me. That there was a lot of other people in my life that I'm like, oh my God, I can't be this happy. I can't feel this good. They will judge me. They'll think I'm full of myself. I better pipe down. So it's like, no, I can lean into, I can take up some space with being happy. It's practice. So thank you for sharing. Now I'm moving between a couple windows here. So thank you, Elizabeth. I really appreciate that. Sue shares with us the things that she's grateful for. She says, my laptop, access to the internet, flowers, a gift from her friend Yvonne, Kira, my little cat, a comfortable chair, a mug of coffee, and then 5 things outside the window. Sunshine, we've had much rain, my garden, some plants still flowering, trees, and my car. Beautiful, Sue. Thank you. I love it. And knowing you, right? It brings me joy and gratitude to know that these things make you happy and that these things are in your life because I know they contribute. And I know you've been practicing seeking out the things that bring you joy. I hear you, Wanda, right? Wanda says, for years, I thought the way I felt under the influence of was happiness, but I truly was. Yes. I hear you. I hear you. No, I get it. I get it, Rob. I get it. So thank you, Sue, right? And the more we write, the list can go, we can keep going, right? Excuse me, I'm about to sneeze. Whew. Excuse me. Let's see here. Oh, LD gave me permission to share what she's grateful for. She says, I am grateful for photos of the most important people in my life, for a little girl who is still in her jammies, snuggling beside me, for a cup of coffee that feels comforting, for a mess of toys strewn on the floor that indicate a child has had fun playing, and for color coordinating pillows and throw blankets in gray and white. For some reason, those colors are so comforting and pure to me. And then she says, on the outside, I am grateful for a reliable car, beautiful mountains, a squirrel who is busy eating leftover plums, lovely spruce trees that my hubby still needs to get planted, a red cabin that affords my son a safe place to adult, the quail and deer that frequent my yard, and the silly goats that cry too much, and a she shed that represents a lot of effort that my husband made to get it there, and for the remnants of an old garden that represents joy for that same husband who finds pleasure in the simple things. Wow, now I feel blessed and more thankful. Yes, love that. Thank you, LD. We're talking about gratitude. If you want to share with us, when you look around your space right here, right now, what are 5 things that you can pull out that make you feel that you're grateful for? And if you look out your window, what are 5 things that you notice out your window that you are grateful for? And so thank you, LD. It's exactly that. Once we start to notice those things, it actually brings us joy. So that made me so happy to read, LD. Love it. I was right there in your yard. Sounds just lovely. So lovely. You are blessed, my friend. Yes, you are. And your family and your children. That's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. So Rob, what is your list? What are you grateful for right there, right now? And looking out your window. What's out your window? And cat just came through the window. Perfect timing for gratitude. Rob's cat's marmalade. Yes, I'm definitely grateful for my kitty cats, Kevin and Penny, and now for the new dog in this family, Roxy. She is everybody's dog, the rescue dog. It's dark out there now in UK. All right, Sue. Well, Rob knows what's outside. That's right, LD. Rob has been working on the fountain with Norman. So I was kind of expecting him to talk about that fountain. But so you got a little hint, Rob. What are you grateful for? And my Periscope friends, what are you grateful today? What are you grateful for? Just if you look around you, right here, right now. Share with you guys, I'm grateful, actually, looking at my really warm, fluffy socks that I'm wearing right now because the weather is cooling down here in Portland, Oregon. I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for my kitty cats that are hanging around, and I'm grateful for my big, comfy couch that I get to lay and snuggle in at night, reading my favorite books or watch my favorite TV show. And I am grateful for the abundance in my kitchen of food, my favorite food. Do you see my post from today? I just read yours. No, it's coming up. Wanda, you're next. You are next, my friend. I was just pushing the others a little bit. Grateful for the picture and the words I see on my screen. There you go, Sue. There you go. And Rob says, it's dark but cold out, and I'm grateful for the warmth, YouTube, cat, coffee machine, and lovely playing my PS3 Final Fantasy game. Daytime, grateful for working on the pond with my mates. Yes, I'm actually just right here scrolling through. I'm seeing the pond. It's so good to be out there working in the garden, just like our friend LD shared here. And I'm loving all the pictures lately from Sue's outdoor adventures. So, and I'll get back to sharing more once I start moving more. Once my foot heals up, I'll start my walking. But Wanda shared with us, trick or treating is calling. All right, have fun, LD. We love you too. Wanda shared with us 5 things in my kitchen I am grateful for. The air fryer, able to enjoy fried food but eat semi-healthy. That's a good one. That's something I've thought about getting, Wanda, is the air fryer. I've heard good things about that. Yes, I did. Yes, I did like that, Rob. You are highlighting the work and then featuring Norman. Great video. Let's see, back to Wanda, her favorite things, what she's grateful for, a dishwasher. She says, I hate doing dishes. I hear you. Doing the dishes is actually one of the ways that I used to practice mindfulness. I'm just here with the dishes. I'm just here with the dishes. Let's see, number 3, she says, freezer full of food. I remember days when the freezer was empty and I had no idea where anything was coming from. I hear you, my friend, right? Grateful for the abundance of food in our fridge and our freezer. Good for you. She also says, my fur babies, they both sit at the entrance of the kitchen whenever anyone is in there cooking. They bring me so much joy. Number 5, the many seasoning in my cabinet. I love mixing seasoning in my dishes when cooking. Ooh, that sounds lovely, Wanda. Then she says, when I look outside, I am grateful for my car. I can see the tall trees from the dense wooden area near my home. They are beautiful. Currently, I see my son parking, and I will forever be grateful for being his mother. And my 4-year-old neighbor is getting out of his mother's car, and I'm so grateful for his joyous smile. That's beautiful, Wanda. Beautiful. And I love you have all these people in your life that bring you joy. All our relationships, right? We should be grateful for. Not take people for granted. Not take smiles for granted, right? Be grateful for them when and while they're here. Elizabeth says, I am grateful for having a heater, a comfy bed, a device to connect with you lovely people, and also grateful for having been able to work on some projects. Excellent. I like that, Elizabeth. Thank you so much for sharing that. I'm a big fan of comfy beds or comfy couches, and I love when it's cold out to have a heater or a warm blanket. I have this little heater blanket that I will stick underneath my pillow up near my shoulders when it's cold out. I love having that. I'm very grateful for that. Yes. Yep, and projects. I love projects. Don't we all love projects? We all like to keep busy, right? We like to keep busy. That's better than this, right? Better than scrolling, scrolling, scrolling. And we are so glad you are here connecting with us, Elizabeth. So glad that you are here. So last call, warm cat on a lap. Is it good in the evening? Yes, definitely. It's lovely to have those fur babies to snuggle up with. And again, last night I was watching Roxy. My girls went out to a Halloween party. And so I'm the grandma. I was watching Roxy and I was laying on the couch and I got a little cold. I was getting a little chilly. So I snuggled next to Roxy. She jumped up on the couch and I put a blanket over both of us. She's like a heater. She's like a furnace. So I am very grateful for that doggy. She's a sweetie. So gratitude practice, hot dog. There you go, Sue. There you go. How fickle I am. I forgot how great my bed is since I upgraded from a fold-up bed to a proper bed and a huge mattress. Nice, Rob. Nice. I'm a big believer in sleep. Rest and digest, my friends. Rest and digest. I was actually having a conversation just an hour ago or so with my mom, and we were talking about sleep. You know, we go back and forth to Iceland quite a bit, and with that 8-hour time difference, it can take a little bit to adjust to the time schedule. And she was saying, yeah, like I need to get to bed sooner because I also believe that in my experience, what seems to work really well for me, and I feel more rested if I get the sleep on the early end, right? If I go to bed, I start to head towards bed around 9. I know I'm keeping a few people up here late at night. My bad. But if I'm asleep by 9:30, 10, and I'm usually up between 6 and 7, those are my best days when I'm asleep on the early end. So because I used to be a night owl, and sometimes, like last night, I was watching a dog till about 11. But knowing how I get my body optimal sleep. Yes, right, Rob? I sleep without a backache now. Good for you. Good for you. Yes, I know, Rob, but right, Sue, an hour earlier just for this week. Well, we are so glad that you guys come out and hang out with us, even though it's late for you, even though it's late for you guys, because we get to benefit from your wisdom, your heart, your support. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, all right, my friends. Gratitude practice is also, right? It's an excellent mindfulness practice. I already mentioned that. And that's also part of, I think, a part of self-compassion. Once we slow down enough to start to pay attention of the good things around us, we start to feel good, feel better about ourselves. Gratitude asks us to be in the now, reflecting on how you feel about who you are and the things that are already in your life now. So much. We are focused, worried about tomorrow, focusing on the next goal, the things that we have to do, places to go. But once we come back here in this moment, it's like, yeah, no, I can be content, right? Life is good. I have everything that I need. Right here, right now. And yes, things aren't perfect, that I can still be content in this moment, just right here, right now. You guys are night owls? All right. Good to hear. Sue took a nap earlier. Good for you, Sue. Wanda says, I wish I could be sleep that early. Between 1 and 3 o'clock and finally falling asleep, then up at 6:30. And my late nights aren't intentional. Well, my friend Wanda, maybe you need to take a look at your sleep, your evening routine. What are the triggers? What's setting you off just before bed, right? And a big thing they talk about is like no screen time, like an hour or so before we go to bed. So, and then if we struggle with anxiety, often our anxiety can keep us up, right? Your nervous system is activated. So how can we practice mindfulness, be intentional about doing the things that help to slow the body down? I know you're probably exploring a lot of different ways with this, Wanda, but I want to encourage you to keep doing that, because it is in that rest and digest that our body gets to renew itself. Our mind gets to renew itself. So it's important. So I pulled a card for us before I sat down here today. And of course, it's always perfect. Good. Yes, Wanda, good. I'm glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. Also, yeah, take a look at what you're eating. What time are you eating in the evening? Because, we shouldn't really eat close to our bedtime. So there are some things to look at. So I'm glad you're going to meet with a nurse practitioner to talk about sleep. So important. It's because it's a vicious cycle. I know. I hear you. And then there's ups, we have times, and, I'm going through, so TMI here, self-disclosing, going through some hormonal changes as my body is where it is on the age cycle right now. And it's a little bit of a roller coaster ride sometimes, but slowly and surely I'm finding what works for me, and I'm trying to stick with a routine. Our bodies like routine. Routine helps the nervous system to calm down if we know what to expect, what's coming next. Hey, Wesley. So the card for us for today, as we wrap it up, one day she woke up and decided to simplify everything. How perfect is that, right? As we are talking about gratitude, how can you simplify? And often we can simplify by just being present in the moment. Notice some of the things that you already have. People, places, things. How perfect, right? One day she woke up and decided to simplify everything. Who needed that message today? Simplify everything. I wish I could press a button and get sleep. And it's interesting because I know some people that struggle with sleep, and it's almost like the worry about sleep keeps you up from sleeping, right? So it's like becomes this worry. So come back to the present moment, start to breathe, just follow your breath. Maybe try like a mindfulness practice as you lay down to bed. Try to meditate laying down, or do a body scan laying down in bed, like from starting on your toes and work your way all the way up, or try from the top of your head and all the way down. Focus on now my foot is relaxing. My foot is relaxing, and then my ankle is relaxing. My calf is relaxing. My knee is relaxing. Walk yourself up through your body and see if that helps. And coming back to the breath. I'm just right here, right now, breathing in and breathing out. Well, sweet friends, thank you, thank you, thank you. Good. Let us know how it goes. Let us know how it goes. I hope you all have a beautiful rest of the evening. It's late, very late for some of you already. Yes, I sometimes feel sleepy when listening to the recorded meditations. Good. That means it's helping your body to relax. Good thing. Very good thing. And I'm a big fan of naps too. If you can't sleep, get all your sleep at night, take a nap in the afternoon. 20-minute, 30-minute power nap does wonders. All right, sweet friends, have a beautiful weekend. Thank you, thank you, thank you for taking the time to hang out here with us. And again, if you're watching the replay, thank you so much. Do something that sparks joy this weekend. And if you are curious, if you're here on Periscope, want to find us on YouTube, you can search for the name of the book. You can find us there. And go out in nature, practice some gratitude. Remember, you are hardwired to heal and thrive the same way your body is hardwired to protect you and keep you safe. We just need to work on straightening out those wires a little bit, right? We learn to be this way and we can learn to be different. And that's what we're doing right here, right now. So thank you, my friends. Really appreciate all of you. I'll see you next week, Tuesday and Thursday, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Until then, I'll see you online. Bye now. Bye, friends.